Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In case you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Tosi, and in case you've been here before, you already know you are welcome back, my OG. So guys, today we're going to be talking on how to overcome the guilt of setting boundaries. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So guys, before we get right into it, I have a video on how to set boundaries. I'm going to see if I can link it up in my description box. But I thought to share a video on the guilt of setting boundaries. I don't know if I'm the only one that gone through this or going through this, but I feel like when you set boundaries, when you start to work on your setting your boundaries, you start kind of having guilt. Yeah, and we're going to be talking about overcoming it, ways I have overcome it, the ways I have researched that you can overcome it in case you're having anything like that. Yeah, so the first one is recognizing that every of the boundaries that you've set and that you are working on and you're standing by right now is done because of yourself, because of self-care. Very, very popular example is people pleasing. Yeah, you set the boundary that you're not going to please people anymore. Why? Because of yourself, because of self-care, because you want to take care of yourself. So you're using it as as a form of self-care for yourself. So don't think it is bad. Don't think the fact that you're not there or you're saying no means that, oh, you're a bad person. No, you're not. It's a form of self care for yourself. So it is right for you to act the way that you're acting. It is right for you to set boundaries. It is right for you to say that I'm not always going to be there, but when I want to, or when I feel like, or when I'm able to, I'm going to be there for you. It's very, very important to know that you setting boundaries is a form of self-care for yourself. The popular example that I made, which is people pleasing, is something that I feel like everyone, well, majority go through by pleasing people too much. And you might start feeling bad that, oh, I wasn't there like I used to be there. I'm not following this person to this place like I used to. You're going to feel bad when you start to set boundaries. I know I'm not going to be this person, I'm not going to be at this person's beck and call. You're going to feel bad. Trust me, you really are going to feel bad. But you need to understand that it's a form of self care, because along the line, if you are doing people pleasing, you're going to drain. Yeah, emotionally, physically, you are going to be drained. So it's always very, very important to know that it is a form of self-care. If anytime you feel bad, tell yourself that this is self-care for me, this is me taking care of myself. So yeah, I'm not doing anything bad. Yeah, yeah, it's very, very important to tell yourself that. So the next one is knowing the problem, which is, I mentioned the first point, which is, oh, people pleasing or whatever it might be. Know what the problem is. What is the problem that is making you feel like you have some guilt in your mind of setting boundaries? Is it because you are used to people pleasing? That's the reason why you feel like you have a guilt. Or is it because that any type of reasoning, but people pleasing is something that I feel like is very, very common, right? So that's why you're having guilt. Oh, or it could be that maybe you've not been there for this person, or you feel like, oh, this person is just trying to be a family member in quotes, but you're setting boundaries. Yes, you can set boundaries for family members, healthy boundaries. I have a video on, I think it's called healthy boundaries also. Yeah, you can set boundaries for family members too, but you need to know what the problem is it because you are always pleasing people? Is it because you feel that, oh, if you don't set boundaries, they might take advantage of you? What is the problem, right? Is it because you set boundaries, you're feeling sad because you feel like, oh, you used to always be there for that person, or because you feel like, oh, you are the one that is supposed to be providing, now you are setting boundaries, now you're feeling bad? It's very, very important. Very, very, very important. During my own times when I started setting boundaries, I started having the guilt, and I was like, okay, so now why am I feeling bad that I'm not at anybody's beck and call anymore. I don't want to be at anybody's beck and call anymore. I just had to deep down and think about it. It's because I always people please. That's the reason. That's the problem with me. And I needed to stop that. I needed to look inward. Why do I think I need to people please? Is it because I feel like it validates me or being like a friend? No, please. Pleasing people or pleasing a friend in particular doesn't validate you being a friend. I think one thing that we all try to not to talk about, but we know for sure is that if we have a friend or a family member, we feel, oh, let me just be there for this person because I'm a good friend. So it shows that I'm a good friend. I have always been the one person to want to show up for someone because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do as a friend. But there's a limit to everything. Every battle is not your battle. You need to understand that every battle. Oh, I learned so much this year. I feel like I'm going to do like a video of what I've learned in 2024. Every battle is not your battle to fight, right? Leave people where they are sometimes. Leave people to their problems sometimes. Let them fight their problem themselves. Leave people where they are. Meet them where they are. That is you setting boundaries, right? So you need to know the reason why you're feeling guilty. You need to know the reason why you're feeling guilty. Is it because you are just used to pleasing people, or is it because you want to paint yourself as a good person? Very important. Yeah. So the next one is to practice self-compassion. Like I said in my first point, you need to tell yourself every time that the fact that you're not pleasing people anymore is a form of self-care to you, because you want to be pouring into yourself and yourself only. Yes, you're going to be pouring into people, but not more than that yourself. Even the Bible says, love thy neighbor as thyself. You need to love yourself before you can even love your neighbor. Very important. It did not say love your neighbor more than you love yourself. No, love the neighbor as their self. So it's always very, very important to practice compassion. Take it easy on yourself. Boundary is not something that you do and you expect that people will follow, or even you yourself, you're okay with it in the space of 3 to 6 months, in the space of 6 months to 1 year. It takes a very long time. It takes a long time for people to be used to the fact that this is a new you. I'm going to get there later on, right? It takes a lot of time for people to be used to it. And along that, some people might even go. Like I said, I'll get to that point. But you need to understand and give yourself compassion. Tell yourself that every time you say no is for you. Tell yourself that every time you say yes to somebody is for you, because you want to. Every time you say no to somebody is because of you. You need to always tell yourself this, because the mind has a way of tricking you that you setting boundaries doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. It does. And most times it tricks you to the extent that you might think that you want to go back to your normal self, your former self. So it's always very, very important to show yourself compassion, take it easy. Which leads me to the next point, which is small confidence. You need to be confident in that boundaries that you have set. Small, small. Like I said before, it takes years to be able to say, okay, this is my boundaries, and people to be used to it, and you also need to be used to it. You need to practice small, small confidence. You need to practice confidence in small, small quantity. Small, small quantity. Let me give you guys an example of me. Now, I used to be someone who uh like to visit people. Let me use that part. I like to visit people, and that came from the fact that there was a friend of mine many years ago that I she was always saying, you don't come and greet me, you don't come and greet me. No, when we were in school, and I'm like, okay, during the day, and I never went. And one day she messaged me and told me her mom passed. That was the day I was under. I can never forget. I was under the rain that day looking for a house, and it just occurred to me that assuming I had gone all this while when she was inviting me, will I be looking for a house? And the day that I visit her for the first time in her home, her parents' house, is a mom passing. Do you understand? And since then, I promised myself to every friend that I have, I must know where you stay. I must know where you stay. The only reason I might not know where you stay is because maybe I don't want to come, or maybe I don't. I don't like the whole scenario, whatever it might be, but I must know where I should be able to point. I say this all the time. I must be able to point and say my friend stays there. That's me knowing where all my friends stays. That is me. That is like really, really me. Except maybe the friend is not just always in their house or something. I like to know where they stay. So I like to visit. It's just a way of me showing that, oh, this person is my friend, and I'm always there and all that. But it got to a year, I think from last year, I just said I'm not visiting anybody that doesn't visit me. Do you understand? That's the boundary that I put for myself. I'm not going to visit anybody that doesn't visit me. It took me a while to be confident in it. Why? Because I'm used to it. I like to visit. Oh, why you have to make I can't greet you. But now I'm on the highest level of confidence right now. Of if you don't come to my house, I'm not coming to yours. Because the reason why I come is not because of anything. I just want to come as a friend, So it's always very, very important that you start being confident about that boundary that you set. Small, small, little by little, little by. It took me, like I said, it happened last year. I started last year. It's been 2 years now. It has taken me 2 years to be comfortable with. If you don't come and visit me, me too, I will not visit you. Do you understand? Very, very important. So the last one is you need to be okay with people not being pleased about your boundaries. You need to be okay with it. You need to be okay with people saying that you have changed. You need to be okay with people showing it that they don't have access to you as they used to. You need to be okay with it. Now, if you are trying to set boundaries and people are going to leave, yeah, so oh my days, you are going to lose some friends, and those that will stay are those that will understand that this is a new you. People are going to tell you to your face that you've changed. Now, that's not what they mean. What they mean is, I don't have access to you anymore. Why don't I have access to you anymore? That's what they really, really, really mean when they say that, you've changed. When they say you've changed, they mean that I can't easily access you anymore. I can't easily call you and say, let's go there. You stand up. You don't even come to my house anymore. That's what it means. And you need to be okay with it. You need to be okay with it. You need, let me hold your hand and say it. You need to be okay with people saying that you've changed. Very important. You need to be okay with it, because that can make you want to go back to pleasing them. That can make you want to go back to being in their beck and call. That can make you want to go back to, you know, being at their mercy. People, if you're setting boundaries and people don't tell you that you've changed, and people don't tell you that, oh, they don't have access to you anymore, you've not started setting boundaries. You have not started setting boundaries. Trust me, you really have not. But when you see that people are saying that, oh, you've changed, you don't behave the way that you behaved before, now you know that yes, your boundary is bold. They can see it. So it's always very, very important to be okay with it. That's where your confidence comes in. Because if you don't have confidence, you want to go back into their shoes. You want to go back into being at their beck and call. You want to go back into them drawing you to be their type of person. It's always very, very important to be okay with it. Yeah. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you learned one or two, and I hope you are standing on business this year. Stand on business about your boundaries. We're coming into the new year, and you need to stand on it. Yes, stand on it. Subscribe if you're not, please. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.